is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Alain Poupart in our Sports Grill Miami Dolphins Insider Report. He's got the Montreal Expos hat. By the way, I am looking at my Bitcoin account here where Aaron Rodgers sent me the $99 a couple days ago. It's at 108.46, baby. Huh? What's your savings account doing in your bank? Doing squat. Have you earned $8 in the last 5 days? No, you haven't. Crypto. Telling you. But anyway, I want to thank the anti-vaxxer for the free Bitcoin. So there you go. I just want to keep it going. You know what I mean? You didn't ask Aaron Rodgers for some Bitcoin, huh, Alan?
I did not. I did not. I haven't had a chance to speak with Aaron.
Yeah,
that's on my to-do list this afternoon.
Did you hear about that? That he and Cash App were giving away $1 million in Bitcoin?
I did not know that.
Yeah, so you had to retweet back to him, follow Cash App, and put hashtag paid in Bitcoin, and then it was random. Some people got $10, some people got $25. I got $99, so nice. I'll take it, bro. I'll take it. Yeah, I keep wondering if they went to my Twitter account and they saw all the crypto talk that's on there, and they're like, well, yeah, let's, this is not a waste. Let's give it to this guy because he'll probably actually hold it. You know what I mean? Which is what we're doing, of course. That's what you do with your crypto. I mean, that's what you do with your Bitcoin. The other stuff you can make a little cash. All right. So we got the victory this past week. They are now prepared for what, 2 in a row tomorrow night? Is that what you're writing, right? You're prepared to write 2 in a row for the Miami Dolphins, correct?
Absolutely. I guarantee it. I guarantee they'll play a game tomorrow night.
I was talking about this, and one of the things that I admire there's a lot of things to admire about John Harbaugh as a coach. I think a lot of us like him in every way, fashion as a coach, and the way he leads his team and the toughness and how they overcome all kinds of things. So there's a lot of characteristics to like about John Harbaugh that we would all want in our own coaches, in the NFL. But one of the things that I got to commend them on, and this goes for every quarterback in the history of time. When you draft a guy, you have to understand what you have, and then you have to then complement them. Whether it's Brady, give him the wall of Montezuma in a running game because he can't move. So if you give him a crappy line, you're not going to get anywhere, just like Mahomes last year in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? If you have a Kyler Murray, this guy understands Kyler Murray and has the kind of offense that Kyler Murray can succeed in. It doesn't matter what kind of quarterback you have. You got to understand it. And I really commend them that they got a guy that isn't a great passer, but he is a great athlete. And they stay totally committed to the way he needs to play the game in order for them to succeed. Whether that will win a Super Bowl or not, that's a whole different ball game. But they've made the best out of that situation, which I don't know if a lot of teams would have been smart enough to do that, Alan. I think a lot of teams would have screwed up and tried to make him a pocket passer.
No, I mean, you can't. Come on. I mean, it's like telling Michael Vick stay in the pocket. I mean, come on. I mean, you saw what Lamar Jackson did at Louisville. I mean, it was very clear what his talent was. And the only reason you would draft him high is because he was completely insane with his running ability. And if you take that away from him, might as well not draft him, or as some people suggested, convert him to a different position. And I also would take issue with something you said. I actually think he's a much, much better passer than given credit for.
Okay. So having said all that, why has this group completely failed in understanding what they had to do to help their young quarterback succeed?
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, is what exactly is it other than we can complain all we want about not hiring the right coaches. We can complain all we want about bad personnel decisions or bad player development when it comes to the offensive line. But in terms of trying I mean, my Lord, how much more could they have done to try to help Tua coming into this year? They hired
veteran
come
linemen,
on.
veteran. Too many young linemen. It was you
Well,
were gonna
time out.
you were gonna need a miracle to gel 4 young linemen and a journeyman and make them a really good line. I don't even know if Dante Scarnecchia could have done that.
Okay, time out. A couple of important points that need to be made here. Number one, the initial question you asked is why didn't the Dolphins do what they could? They did everything they could,
Well, what they
including
thought they
Charlie. A lot of the stuff that hasn't panned out, but it's not like
could.
they didn't try. It's not like they said, "Okay, Tua, you're on your own." I mean,
No,
they
no,
hired
no, no.
Charlie.
But Alan, to think that basically a rookie offensive line coach with rookie offensive coordinators with a bunch of rookie linemen with no threat at running back that isn't like a monster to help complement those, like at least Ricky Williams, like we knew he ran for 2,000 yards. Let's not lie to ourselves. It was a decent line, but it was also that Ricky was so damn special that he made them look even better than what they are. So what I'm saying is maybe you could have gotten a Najee instead. Maybe you could have picked up a couple of veteran offensive linemen. Maybe you could have found a established offensive line coach that knows what the hell he's doing. Maybe you should have convinced Jan Gailey, please, please, please stay because you know way more offense than we ever could. I understand what you're saying. And in theory, you're right that they tried everything, but they didn't really know how to do it. See, Baltimore knows how to do it, how to make Lamar the best Lamar can be. You know, Kyler Murray, this guy knows the best way to make him what he can be. Bruce Arians is doing the same thing with Tom Brady, finding him every running back, every tight end, and every receiver in the book and an offensive line. So the man has everything he needs in order to succeed. And even Byron Leftwich, who understands him and what he needs. All of these kind of things help the quarterback grow and develop. Bill Walsh knew that he couldn't run exactly the same offense between Joe Montana and Steve Young. It was 2 different talents. So he had to run it 2 different ways. You have to understand what it is, but you also have to execute it. And while they thought they were doing it, the execution was incredibly poor.
I'm not arguing that point, but the point you were making initially was that the Dolphins didn't do what they needed to do or try to help out Tua, who, again, also, I'm going to make the point, needs more help than somebody like Lamar Jackson to succeed. Number one. Number two.
And by the way, he needs more than Josh Allen. Because
correct.
if he was Josh Allen, he would have played last week. Because even if his middle finger's a little messed up, but he's got a cannon for an arm and a big arm, they would have let him go out there and at least try it because his strength might have been able to overpower a little bit and overcome the finger. But because he's a smaller quarterback, doesn't have a cannon of an arm, they did the right thing. They actually said, you know what, dude, you're already limited physically. Now you're injured. No, we're not putting you out there. And to me, that was actually intelligent last week.
No, I have no issue with it. And here's another thing about the offensive line, and I need to take you back to comments that you made earlier, I want to say August, maybe September, where you talked about you were very, very willing and ready to deal with the growing pains that come with having such a young offensive line. Well, we're having some nasty, nasty growing pains, and we're also left with wondering.
Well, I didn't know this guy could not coach at all. That's the thing.
But also,
this is what we're running into now. There is no coaching on this team. None.
Zero. Okay, that's fair. But are we also at a point where do we really look at Austin Jackson and say it's purely coaching? This guy would be a stud if he had a great coach. No. Liam Eichenberg, who's getting run around.
I question that one. I question that one. Notre Dame puts out a lot of linemen. He had better coaching at Notre Dame, just like Tua and Waddle had better coaching at Alabama. There's too much of rotten going on there with everyone. That's where I blame coaching. Austin Jackson, I'll give you that one. But Liam Eichenberg, I think if you had a real coach, I think we'd see a much better player, dude. I really do. I
see somebody who's not nearly athletic enough to play on the edge, and and edge defenders are getting around him way too easily. And I'm not sure that really speaks to coaching as opposed to maybe this is a guy who belongs at guard. So
maybe.
But I'm not arguing your point. If Bill Callahan was coaching this offensive line, the results would be entirely better. Or Dante Scarnecchia or Alex Gibb, if we want to go way back when, back with the Broncos. But again, we did talk about the idea. It's an awfully young offensive. They tried to bring in a couple of veterans. Everything flopped. DJ Fluker flopped. Jermaine Elmanor, for some reason, they never really gave him a shot. And now he's starting in Oakland, by all accounts, playing well. Matt Skura is brought in to play center. Never sniffed a first-team rep. Now he's starting for the Giants. But there's no question. Absolutely, the coaching is playing a part in it.
At one point, the offensive line coach and the head coach are sitting there going, "No, we don't need this guy. We're going to keep this guy." So I don't know what, Pepe Le Pew and Flo are actually thinking, that they decided to keep these guys and let the other guys go and let veterans go. So that's my problem. That Pepe Le Pew right now, his coaching stinks, just like his tail.
I'm also going to wonder, probably until the end of the season, why was there such a need to dump Eric Flowers, who's not a great player, but right now probably would be the best offensive lineman on this team? Why? To save $2 million in salary, $2 million in salary cap? Really? To move up 14 spots in the 7th round? It's completely baffling.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. Does he even play this week? Tua.
Eric Flowers, I'm sure he'll play. I'm sorry, Tua. That's a great question. I mean, and Brian Flores was asked every possible way yesterday when he spoke, and that's the last time I'm going to speak to him until after the game. It's a great question. I'm not sure he knows. Yes, maybe, no. I don't think. I think they're going to see how he warms up Thursday night in pregame and may not make a call until then. Or my guess is they will not make a call until then.
What's your gut tell you? Because I kind of get the feeling that he's not going to play in this game.
If I'm going to lean, if I have to guess one way or the other, I would say he's not playing. But let's say 50.5% he's not playing, 49.5% he's playing.
How bad is the third quarterback that you would use to as your backup?
He's a kid who's never played.
It kind of reminds me of the Greg Little situation, right? Like, how bad is Greg Little? You can't crack this starting lineup, dude. I mean, seriously? They're not even considering your ass. Now he's saying, I know he said it now this week. Well, we're thinking about whatever changes. And I was laughing at that. Like, okay, so a walkthrough is going to make you want to try somebody else? What are you going to see in a walkthrough? Give me a break.
It's not the week to do it. It's not the week to do it. The following week would be the week to do it.
Right.
But there's a difference between Greg Little and Jake Dolegala, who has never played it down in an NFL regular season game, who wasn't drafted out of college. And I'm trying to remember what school he attended. It's not what they call, not FBS.
Right.
I go back to the days of Division 1A or 1AA, but it's an FCS school. I can't remember the name of the school, but yeah, he's got no pedigree. And yeah, I think they'd rather have Tua hand off and throw screen passes all night than have Dolegala in the game.
Man, to think about it, in a couple of years, we're going to be looking at Reed Sinnett going, look at that. He's headed to Hall of Fame. We could have kept him.
Yeah. I like Reed, but I might slow down on that one.
I tell you, they're already developing the bust for Reed, because they know once he takes the field, he'll never see the bench again. He'll be just riding high, man. And we're going to be sitting there going, there it is, Drew Brees Part 2.
Another
part 3.
Got away.
We have Drew Brees Part 1 and 2, so we'll go with 3 there. What do we look forward to tomorrow? I mean, what would you tell the Dolphin Nation to look forward to tomorrow? I know that we're praying for the miracle of all miracles, which is probably never going to happen. So what are we looking forward to now as Dolphin fans? Because Tua doesn't have a future if these guys are around, obviously, because they don't want him. What are you building? There's probably going to be a bunch of changes at coaching. So what do Dolphin fans look forward to right now, Alan?
Well, you mentioned Tua. I think you want Tua to go out there and succeed, because if indeed he doesn't have a future with the Dolphins, at least he's building up his trade value. That's number one. If he doesn't play, then you're looking right now. They got 2 good-looking young safeties with Brandon Jones and Javon Holland. You hope to see those guys continue to do good work. You want to see Jalen Phillips continue to evolve. Yeah, it's all about the young players that you're going to identify as the core of this team moving forward with whatever coaches are going to be there. I mean, but that's what it is from now on at 2-7. I mean, you're not coming back from 2-7, barring an absolute miracle, and there's really absolutely zero reason to think it's happening. So it's all about the young players developing and giving you hope as they form the core heading into 2022.
Is there one coach you would keep on this team next year? Is there an assistant coach that you say, I definitely got to bring back?
Well, I would tell you the defense the last couple of weeks has actually not played bad at all. I mean, I thought they were very, very good against Buffalo in the first half. Kind of slowed down a little bit, and then Buffalo made some adjustments, and they were very good against Houston, but that's Houston. It's Houston. So I don't have like a major gripe with any of the coaches or anything that's being done on defense. I don't think the defense as a whole has been terrible. I know that it's been rough on third down for most of the season and not nearly as good as it was last year. But
and against the run, and look what you're facing tomorrow.
They've actually been okay against the run. They've not been terrible, especially since maybe, I don't know, the past month or so. They've not been terrible. I mean, it's on offense that almost. I mean, you could scrap the whole staff and then nobody would blink an eye. You know?
All right, what was the prediction for tomorrow? What is it? How bad? Because it's a 7.5 point spread. So you're lay the 7 is what you're saying.
Well, I just did the research. There have been 9 Thursday night games this season. 5 of them decided by 3 points or less, and another one was a 6-point game. That's Tampa Bay going to Philly. So this is Baltimore on the road, Dolphins at home. So I think, I mean, and again, odds makers know a lot more than we do. There's a reason the line is only like 7.5. When all of us are looking at those two teams going, how are they not 14-point favorites?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I have a really hard time and almost an impossible time imagining the Dolphins winning that game, but I do think they can keep it close, maybe a 10-point game or so.
It's just 2 words I don't want to hear before that game: Jabroni Brisket. If I hear that he's starting, then yeah.
What are you gonna do now? Not watch the game?
No, I'm gonna watch the game. It's just like last week, the winds were completely out of my. Like I just could not. I watched it, but I wasn't like he inspires nothing. I'm just sorry.
No, and he doesn't play any kind of prominent role moving forward other than he's there when Tua can't play.
Right. Exactly. Crazy. Follow him on Twitter. For those of you listening to the podcast, at Poupart NFL. More importantly, every Dolphin in the planet needs to bookmark his Sports Illustrated page. It's got all of your Dolphin articles, and as the new ones come up, it gets updated. You can check it several times a day because he's pumping out at least 15 or 27 articles a day. I mean, really, it's just absolutely, he's a machine. Okay? He is the machine. He is Alain Poupart. Alain, thank you, my brother. You're a stud as always. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Big One. By the way, the website is alldolphins.com, and it'll show up as si.com/NFL/Dolphins.
Alldolphins.com. There you go. And a little expos. Be good.
Always. Take care, Big O.
Later.